ask you something? I know you've heard it all, probably, but,
You lucky to be alive.
Sean, don't you ever climb on the roof again. Because we need you.
What is the last thing that you remember?
have you ever worked with anyone who's been abducted? You're not yourself since you fell, man. I'm worried.
You need to rest.
I'm a grown man. I can handle this.
Makes you feel small, doesn't it?
I'm worried.
Are you sure you're okay? Can you just talk to me?
Did I say something?
Sean.
None of this is actually happening.
How are you feeling? Rest. Sean. Sean, look at me. Sean, help me.
I just want to protect my family.
From what?
This is new for you?
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for Descendent, arriving in theaters on August 8th. I'm KUYA P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Joining me to talk all things Descendent is the writer, director, Peter Cilella. Thank you so much for your time, Peter.
Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you. So I have to tell you, I'm a father. So I have like one kind of qualifier in this film. And I'm a believer. I love aliens. I love UFOs. I think I've seen a few.
Okay.
And so those are kind of the things that grabbed me when I saw this trailer and when I got word about this film. And it took me, though, into a place that I wasn't thinking we were going to go with this film. So I'm curious for you, when you decide to put fingers to keyboard or pen to pad, what inspired Descendant for the story that you wanted to deliver to the people with this film?
Yeah, great question. So, growing up, I've always been fascinated by aliens ever since I was a little kid, seeing the Communion paperback book in the checkout aisle at the grocery store and that first image of the gray. And, I knew I wanted to make a movie with the Rustic guys. I knew there were going to be budget constraints. I knew that we needed to keep it grounded. And I was very much inspired by, obviously Fire in the Sky, but more importantly, I think Jacob's Ladder and Take Shelter, and especially with Take Shelter in the way that, Jeff Nichols did such an amazing job of not really showing a whole lot. And it's really about the relationship between, Jessica Chastain's character and Michael Shannon's character. And that is really what drives that film. And so I wanted it to be grounded and relatable, even if you're not a father or a parent. I feel like we've all had a time when we felt like we've lost control, and it's about that loss of control and the things you do to try and regain it, for better or for worse.
Definitely. And especially with this one where things are out of your control.
Yeah.
Things that happened before you were around to like really do something, I guess.
Right.
So which was hit home for me. I think there's so many relatable things, which makes this a great film in that respect. So you put pens to keyboard, you pen this out, you got the team together. What was it like in pre-bro finding Ross Marquand and the team that you put behind, both in front of and behind the camera, to capture this story with the budget that you had to still deliver such a solid looking film?
Yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, I had a lot of help, from the guys at Rustic, and then Caleb Ward, another one of our producers from Highland Film Group. just getting the financing together and getting it in the hands of Ross and Sarah. We the guys had relationships with them. They've known Dave Lawson, our producer, has known Ross for over a decade, and Sarah is someone that they knew, and we were able to get the script directly to the actor, which saved us a lot of time, instead of having to wait on an agent or a manager. And they responded very quickly, very favorably, and they were on board from the beginning. And so having those guys have my back and access to that kind of talent was invaluable.
So definitely, completely agree. Filmmaker myself, you got to have a great team. So shout out to the whole cast and crew. It takes a village, as it were.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
We love our set family. All right, so Ross Marquand, I saw him on The Walking Dead. He has to carry the weight of this film, and we have to see him go through all of this. Can we speak on him and the performance he delivers to go through everything, whether it's in his head or it's in reality? I don't want to spoil for the people, but just some very interesting back and forth that he has to deliver.
Yeah, no, I mean he's incredible in this film, and so is Sarah, and I couldn't be happier with their performances, and a lot of that is a testament to their work ethic. We rehearsed for a week before shooting, which if you have the opportunity, you got to take that, because we were able to work out and iron out some issues ahead of time. And with his character especially, it was tricky because just on the page it was reading kind of very it was a little too one notish, as far as he was already kind of downtrodden at the beginning, and then he had nowhere to go. And so really injecting a lot of that levity and the love between the two of them in the first act, we discovered all that in the rehearsal process, and I was rewriting scenes, and we were workshopping, we were improvising, and I think that made a massive difference, because then when the shit does hit the fan, I hope that the audience then is rooting for him, because they see that he loves his wife, they see that he's trying, and he's just swinging and missing.
Great performance. I think Ross was just tremendous in this role, Pete. Can we speak on fatherhood? Because I think a lot of my friends that are I was trying to figure out who I would suggest this to and recommend it to, but what I found that I want to recommend it to new parents, especially some of my fellas out here.
Yeah.
But I think this also might scare them in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
Can we speak on fatherhood and having yourself together? Because I think that's the biggest thing that Ross goes through, is because of his father, obviously, but then he's becoming a father. You had to do that whole, you as the writer director had to give all of that to drive the story here. What was that like? And did it come from certain elements from yourself? There's just so many interesting pieces to speak on in that.
Yeah, I mean, I think father to father, I think you see yourself as a fixer, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
If there's a problem, you fix it. Well, there's certain things you can't fix. And that is the hardest thing for a husband, for a father, because I think that is our kryptonite. It makes us feel completely helpless. And so what do you do when there's something that seems unfixable? And so, if there's anything anyone will walk away from this with, it's that the point is, no matter what, you show up for each other. You show up for your partner. You show up for your family, and just you being there is enough. And not everything is immediately fixable. And I think that's something I hope that resonates with a lot of dads as well.
Definitely. And I appreciate you tackling these kind of subjects, because I don't think we see it enough. And as men, and that responsibility that we have for our wife, our significant, our spouse, and dealing with our own matters, because there was obviously a lot of things that he wasn't prepared for this new, to be a father, that he had to deal with for himself and everything. Just great. And I appreciate you tackling the subject, Pete.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think it's an important one, and I also think we should value the father's role in childcare. And what it means to be in a family in 2025 is very different than it was 30, 40, 50 years ago, and I think we're all adjusting to those things, and just to recognize that, I mean, raising kids is the hardest job in the world. There's nothing harder.
It's the hardest and the best job in the world.
It is.
I agree.
It's gratifying, but man, it is. It's challenging on another level, and I think people are finally understanding that. I think men are finally understanding that.
Definitely. Well done, Pete. So aliens, UFO, we see a little bit, but I wanted a little bit more. I can't lie. I wanted a little bit more, but I think when I finally saw the point for me and the message this was telling me with this story, I was okay with it, because I think there's a bigger story here that needed to be told. We're talking about. But if you had the money, were there anything that, due to time and budget, that you would have liked to maybe have put a little bit more into Descendant?
That's a hard question, because from the beginning, I knew I was going to be working on a limited budget. I'm a first-time filmmaker. They're not going to give me, tons of money to do this. So, from the beginning, I'd always framed it in my head that this would be something where, less is more, the unseen is scarier. Those are the things that, frighten me. What you imagine in your mind is far more frightening than what's on screen often. I think, one day I'd love to make something like Arrival, where you have that kind of, big canvas to paint on, big budget, but such a grounded human story. I mean, I think that is, the ultimate, in the sci-fi genre.
Completely agree. And I do think less is more. I think we all learned that lesson from Jaws as filmmakers. You don't want to see the shark yet. Just a little glimpse or whatever here and there.
Yeah. And you have to hide a lot more because you don't have the money to spend. And I think that's actually a positive, constraint, because it forces you to be more creative. And I would have loved to have more time in those abduction scenes when he's on the table. There were some things that just didn't quite look as I had intended, that we ended up cutting. And it's indie filmmaking. There's some trial and error, even if you've done it a bunch. And so you do the best you can with what you have.
Definitely. And well done on this effort, Pete. I thought the film looked great. It had the thrills, and it had just the amount of sci-fi and that I needed, when I finally saw the core of what the story's intention was with Descendant. And I was like, all right, I'm with this. I can relate in so many ways. I had a good time with this, Peter.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to hear that,
Definitely. So when people come see Descendant, what do you want to tell them that they should know, and what do you hope they leave to close this out, Peter?
It's a sci-fi drama with some horror elements, and I always, when I do these intros, I always say, there are moments of levity in this film, and if you are compelled to laugh, don't be afraid to, because I think that's how we get through these dark times. I wanted to make sure I had some times in the film where the audience could take a breath and they could laugh a little bit, without shifting the tone too drastically. And as far as the message goes, like I said earlier, I think just show up for each other. Show up for your family, show up for your partner, show up for your kids. Even when you feel like you can't fix something, you just being there oftentimes is all that's needed.
I love that. That's my mantra right now, Peter, and I appreciate that. Thank you for this film of entertainment. We need this escapist. To me, with the craziness in the world, this is what helps along the way. And when it has such a great message, it means a lot. So, Peter, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. I look forward to your next project, and hopefully I can throw some virtual flowers at you when that next one comes.
I very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Definitely. Everybody, that is the amazing writer-director of Descendant, Peter Cilella. Check out Descendant in theaters August 8th. I'm KUYA P. Nerds rule the world.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Nerds rule the world.
Pleasure chatting with you. Love to all my nerds who rule the world.
Nerds rule the world.
Yes, we do.
Thanks. Nerds rule the world. Thank you.
I love the nerds ruling the world, so more power to you.
Patrick, what up, man? And yes, they do. Nerds rule the world, kid.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Awesome. KUYA P, nerds rule the world. Hello.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Oh,
Nerds rule the world.
I got.
It's in the title of your show, like Nerds Rule the World. Like, I want more black weirdos on screen, and I don't feel like we ever get to see that very much.
Thank you so much. Nerds do rule the world.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Nerds rule.
Love it.
Hello, Sarah. Hello, Julian.
Yes,
Rock on. I love it. Thank you so much.
It's good to see you. I love Nerds Rule the World.
But yeah, there's a heavy nerd component, man.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you ask me, nerds rule the world. So
Absolutely.
And you're right. Nerds do rule the world.
We're just the best.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
so much.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
It's your boy KUYA P, nerds rule the world. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you.
They rule the world, all right.
Yes. Take care, Tony. Thank you, guys. It'll be faster to turn around. Okay, I'm rocking. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Pete. It's a pleasure to chat with you. I'm ready to rock and roll and have some fun if you are.
All right, sounds good.
All right. I'm gonna do a 3, 2, 1 to help me with my edit. We're gonna be coming right off of the trailer. Here we go. In a 1, 2, 3.